Tamil Nadu cabinet firms up against Kudankulam nuclear power plant, passes resolution to suspend work after 12-day-long protest by locals. DMK announces their lineup for the local body elections. Mayor M. Subramaniam will fight for re-election. MDMK and PMK shared excess weight of alliance politics, both parties to contest the polls alone. In the Arakonam train collision, was the motorman busy talking over a phone line? Now investigators reveal initial findings to NDTV-HINDU. DMK's top leaders Nehru, Punmudi face the heat under the land grab offensive. Fresh charges slapped, Nehru's remand extended. An inspiring tale of the journey from bonded labour to leading the fight against the practice. Chennai's got drivers revved up to burn their tyres on the tarmac of the Budh International Circuit. Good evening, you're watching Late Night News with me, Ashmit. Let's also take a look at what else is creating a buzz across the nation. Legendary cricketer and former Indian captain Mansoor Ali Khan Patodi passes away. Condolence messages pour in from across the world. A daring rescue by the army. The army forces are out for a dramatic rescue in the quake-hit areas of Sikkim. The Sensex crashes by over 700 points. It's the biggest drop since the June of 2009. Outrage over the Planning Commission's BPL figures. 32 rupees a day means you're not poor. The government says it's not final. Anna Hazare says he'll go on another fast if Maharashtra doesn't enact a strong Lokayuk bill in the next session of the Assembly. Well, first up in our top story, even as the debate on nuclear power rages on, the Tamil Nadu cabinet passed a resolution this evening seeking suspension of work at the nuclear power plant in Kudankulam. Now, this development comes in light of the Chief Minister backing the concerns of thousands who had undertaken an indefinite fast against the nuclear plant. Now, she had assured that the state would present a memorandum to the Prime Minister conveying the concerns. Now, earlier, Amma had also dispatched a strongly worded letter to the centre. Now, meanwhile, the centre has been making efforts to calm the tense nerves in the state over the 1,000-megawatt project. The protesters had cited concerns about the security of the locals in light of the recent near-crisis situations in more developed nations such as Japan and France. And while the moves made by the cabinet have come as a relief for thousands of protesters who had undertaken an indefinite fast against the project. Now, after securing the resolution from the cabinet, the protesters called off the fast. Earlier, 100 villagers had called off the protest after assurance from the Chief Minister. Now, after the recent developments concerning nuclear power in France and at the Fukushima nuclear power plant in Japan, the locals had begun agitating against the 1,000-megawatt plant, citing safety concerns. Well, in news now about the build-up to the civic body polls. Now, the DMK today announced the list of candidates who will be taking on the challenge of the local body elections. Now, importantly, the DMK has expressed faith in the incumbent Mayor M. Subramaniam. He has been allowed to change a chance, in fact, to fight for re-election. Meanwhile, in a carefully articulated statement, the DMK chief Karunanidhi announced that though the party will tread these waters by itself, challenges in certain pockets will require the party to join forces with other political outfits. And commenting on the electoral strategies of the Congress, he remarked that both parties were comfortable and happy at contesting the polls separately.
மாநகராட்சி மன்ற மேயர் பதவிக்கான வேட்பாளர்கள் ஒன்று சென்னை திரு மா சுப்பிரமணியம் BA LLB.
While gearing up for the polls, the ruling alliance members in the state AIDMK, the left parties and the DMDK met this evening. Now, they negotiated over a number of mayoral and ward councillor seats being given to their parties. Now, the allies expressed regret at not being offered any mayoral seats in the local body elections. In fact, the left parties were visibly upset and staged a walkout. And while in more updates about the preparations for the local body polls, Vico-led MDMK has announced plans to contest the civic body elections by themselves without any alliance partners. Meanwhile, the PMK appeared to follow suit, deciding to face the elections alone. Ramados and company have steered clear of alliance politics and compromises. And while preparations for the civic body elections in the state are on in full swing, the Corporation Commissioner assured that the election apparatus was ready to conduct the election for electing 200 councillors and a mayor. Now, meanwhile, 35 assistant election officers have also been appointed to accept nominations.
மாநகராட்சி மேயர் மற்றும் 200 மாமன்ற உறுப்பினர்களுக்கான தேர்தல் நடத்த ஆயத்த பணிகள் அனைத்தும் செய்யப்பட்டுள்ளன. இந்த மாமன்ற உறுப்பினர்களுக்கான வேட்புமனுவை தாக்கல் செய்வதற்கு 35 உதவி தேர்தல் நடத்தும் அலுவலர்கள் நியமிக்கப்பட்டுள்ளார்கள். மேயர் தேர்தலுக்கான வேட்புமனுவை ரிப்பன் மாளிகையிலே மாநகராட்சி ஆணையாளரான என்னிடமும், இதுக்கு உதவி தேர்தல் நடத்தும் அலுவலராக நியமிக்கப்பட்டுள்ள மேற்பார்வை பொறியாளர் பேருந்து சாலைகள் துறை சூப்பர்டிங் இன்ஜினியர் பஸ் ரூட் ரோட்ஸ் அவர்களிடமும் வேட்புமனுவை தாக்கல் செய்யலாம்.
Well, up ahead on the bulletin, the markets found themselves in a tight stranglehold of the bears. What does that mean? As far as your investments are concerned, we'll tell you on the other side.